Now, White Pine County Daily News with Wyatt Cox.
At 15 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, your morning news from the state of Nevada, sponsored by Sahara Motors, home of the Touch a Truck promotion. Coming up July 4th weekend, you could win a Dodge Ram Top truck. Stop by Sahara Motors for complete details. A Thursday traffic stop in Ely ended up with 2 in jail on drug charges. A White Pine County Sheriff's Office deputy observed a vehicle commit a traffic violation. The deputy reported contacting the driver of the vehicle, 49-year-old Jason Leibold of Las Vegas. The passenger, 35-year-old Lucretia Romero of Ely. Leibold subsequently arrested for possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting a public officer, and driving without a valid license. Romero subsequently arrested for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bail set for the pair at $30,000 each. And, of course, all persons innocent until convicted in a court of law. Well, Michael Strother tells us someone broke into his house on Lyons Avenue during the last month. He tells us a number of items are missing from the break-in, including several guns, a 12-gauge shotgun, a .22 long rifle, a Browning .22 pistol, a steel chainsaw, a silver baby cup with Kristen Reed 77 engraved on it, tarnished flatware with floral patterns on handles, silver stirring spoons, also a pewter tabletop cigarette box, a wooden jewelry box, and a lot of other items, including personal documents. He is offering a reward for any of the information that leads to determining who may have done this or the return of the items. If you have any information on this, contact him at 307-251-7813, 307-251-7813. Also, one of the items that is missing happens to be an acoustic guitar and also an Engelhardt upright bass. You can see information on all of that by going to our Facebook page at facebook.com/KELY1230. President Trump has granted a full and unconditional pardon to Michelle Fiore, the former Las Vegas councilwoman found guilty of defrauding donors who believed they were giving money for a statue to honor a fallen Las Vegas police officer. Fiore, found guilty of conspiracy and wire fraud by a federal jury in October. Prosecutors accused Fiore of raising tens of thousands of dollars through a charity and political action committee for a statue honoring Metropolitan Police Officer Alan Beck, who was shot and killed with his partner in 2014. Prosecutors said Fiore spent the donations on rent, plastic surgery, and payments on her daughter's wedding. On Thursday, Fiore's defense attorneys filed a motion to vacate her May 14th sentencing and included a copy of Wednesday's order from Trump pardoning Fiore. Governor Lombardo Friday unveiled his omnibus education bill, which follows promises the governor made during his January State of the State address to make it easier for students at low-performing schools to transfer to a different school while extending funding for staff raises and transportation to charter schools. According to a summary of the bill reviewed by the Nevada Independent prior to the press conference on Friday, it also establishes a new fund for bonuses for higher-performing educators and includes efforts to improve student literacy a few years before a requirement kicks in that could lead to huge numbers of third-graders being held back if they can't read. Another section of the bill focuses on increasing accountability for schools, which the governor has been calling for since 2023, when the legislature approved an historic $2 billion increase in K-12 education funding. That was a 26% increase over the previous budget cycle, although Nevada's average per pupil funding still remains about $4,000 behind the national average. He shared details of the bill during a Friday morning press conference at Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon, a K-12 charter school in Henderson, alongside interim state superintendent of public instruction Steve Canavero and school choice advocate Valeria Gerd. Lombardo said his legislation is centered around the principle that no Nevada student should be trapped in a failing school because of their zip code or held back because of how much their parents or guardians make. At 20 minutes past 8 o'clock, that's a look at your morning news from the state of Nevada for Sahara Motors.
You see lots of commercials on television telling you to drive a little and save a lot. Dealers wanting you to drive to Salt Lake, Elko, Reno, and even Las Vegas. But ask them one question. What happens if there's a problem? Do you have to drive 3, 4, or even 6 hours to get service? Here at Sahara Motors in Ely, we service everything we sell right here in White Pine County. Shop here first, get our best deal, and you get that best deal by telling Maggie or Shauna that Wyatt sent you by. Then if you want, shop other places. When you account for the drive, you'll find that it pays you to be a part of the Sahara Motors family. Stop by Sahara Motors, just about a mile north of Ely on US 93.
Or call 775-289-4473.
Sahara Motors, we are White Pine proud.